Okay, welcome to Season of Change, transforming your life through the power in the Word of God. I am your host, Evangelist Joseph Jeremiah from Nigeria, and I have my guest here tonight, this afternoon on this episode from Amsterdam, Nikki from Amsterdam. She's a coach, she's a trainer, and she's also a consultant and an author of a lot of books, and we'll be discussing tonight with her, or this afternoon with her, on the topic self-discovery. Welcome, Nikki, to Season of Change.
Well, thank you for having me on. And yeah, my name is Nikki van Ingenschenau, and I am from Amsterdam.
Wow, then thank you very much. So we'll be discussing right now the topic self-discovery. So how do you come about this topic?
Well, actually, I've had a very turbulent life. In 2011, I moved to Japan with my then husband. And in 2013, I started my own business. I organized guided tours in Japan. And other than that, I offer consultancy to companies who want to explore the Japanese market and want to maybe do business in Japan. So I give them lectures about cultural differences in Japan compared to other countries and how to be successful in Japan, what it takes to have a successful business meeting, that kind of thing. So.
Wow, that's
But
great.
yeah, but with all the cultural differences and moving to Japan and setting up a new life, things were definitely challenging. So I can definitely talk about transformation, finding your identity, and making it work.
Wow, that's great. So you discovered this topic through the tough times you have in Japan, how to relate with people, how to start a business, how to live a new life in a new country with a new culture and a new people. I believe that I'm right about that.
That is right, yes.
Yeah. So what do you think is self-discovery?
Self-discovery. Well, I think that in order to do that, you need to do a lot of reflection and a lot of introspection and really ask yourself a lot of questions, and especially the hard questions like who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose in life? And what do I want to achieve? And then first look at the long term. What do I want? Where would I like my life to end up? How do I see myself when I'm retired or close to retirement? And then work your way forward to today and break everything down into small, manageable pieces. So you know what to do to achieve those goals. So make sure that you are able to be consistent and are able to work on it every day to achieve your long-term goals.
So wow, that's great. So how long does it take you to discover yourself?
Well, I feel it takes years and years because when you're young, you don't really think about it too much, or at least for me, it took a lot of years. Um, because you're mostly wrapped up in your life and meeting your friends and studying and working, and then it takes a long time and a lot of adversity, I feel, to really discover who you are as a person and where your strength lies, and what you can contribute to the world. So yeah, I think it's actually a good thing for everyone to have at least a little bit of hardship in your life to overcome adversity and to find out who you really are and whether you're able to weather the storm and come out well the other side.
Wow, that's great. So what do you really discovered about yourself?
I discovered about myself that I'm really strong, and I have a lot of perseverance, and I'm very resilient, and I don't give up easily. So sometimes that can also be a detriment, because sometimes I tend to go on with the fruitless situation because I just am too determined to continue and not give up. So this can also be a hindrance sometimes. So giving up is not necessarily a bad thing. So you have to be realistic about what you're trying to achieve and whether that goal is within your reach. So if it's not within your reach, it's not always a good thing to keep on trying new things. And sometimes it's actually better to just not double down and to realize that whatever you're doing simply isn't worth it, and it's not worth your time and effort, and you should just focus on something else instead.
Thank you very much. So, to our audience, I want you to give them the principles on how one can discover him or herself.
The principles on how to discover yourself?
Yes.
Well, like I said, you have to do a lot of inflection to really ask yourself, who am I as a person? Who am I as a friend? Who am I as a son or a daughter? Who am I as a husband or a wife? And what, like in Japanese, we have a word for that. It's called ikigai, and ikigai compasses a lot of different things. So it is your ability, it is your passion, it is your reason for living, it is what you want to contribute to the world, it is your legacy that you want to leave behind after you are no longer there. So it encompasses all these different elements that basically create who you are as a person. So to everyone out there, I would suggest Googling Ikigai and fill out for yourself all the different elements, and that will help you to realize what kind of person you are and where your strength lies and what the best way forward is.
Wow, that's great. So, for instance, now you told us the principle of discovering oneself.
Mm-hmm.
After you discovered yourself, how do you work on all these things you mentioned now?
A good question. You ask a lot of good questions. Yeah, I mean, again, it is all about what do you want to achieve in life, what is most important to you. Um, and it isn't a one man's job or one woman's job. You do it as a team. So you need to rope in your family and your friends and maybe your coworkers even. So see your life as though it were a small child that you're taking care of and that you are nurturing and that you're trying to grow. And that child will only grow and flourish if you give it a lot of attention and a lot of love. So make sure there are people in your environment that can help you to achieve that goal, because you cannot do it all by yourself. You need some people that you can reflect with, so you can ask them, oh, this is what I want to do, what do you feel about it? And they can put a mirror in your face and say, well, actually that is a really terrible idea, I think you should do it like this or that. Because yeah, you need to be open to the good things and the bad things, because only your true friends are able to criticize you and tell you how it is. It's no sense to have only echo chambers around you and people that say, yes, you're amazing all the time. You also need people to say, well, that's actually crap. So go back to the drawing board, start over again, because this is never going to work. Of course, if you have too many people being negative in your life, that is also not a good thing. So there has to be a good balance. And in the end, it's up to you to decide what you're going to do anyway. So yeah, listen to your heart and listen to your gut and do whatever you feel is right.
Thank you very much. Oh, a lot of people find it difficult to discover themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And after discovering themselves, they find it difficult or they are confused. They are in the midst of confusion and how to go about it. So when you find yourself in the midst of confusions like this, how do you come out of it
Well,
in the process of
basically,
discovering yourself?
yeah, basically, what is holding people back is fear. And fear is a very strong motivator. So, if you are experiencing fear, you go into fight or flight mode, and that is never a good thing, because it will create irrational decisions from your side. So if you are feeling fear, you have to acknowledge that you are experiencing these feelings, and you need to snap yourself out of it. So for everyone, there's a different way that works best. So you need to kind of slap yourself in the face, metaphorically speaking, but do whatever works best. So listen to music, dance a bit, take a cold shower, just do whatever it takes to kind of get out of this feeling that you're having. So go for a run, or exercise, or do something to kind of get your body out of this fight or flight status, and then make sure that whatever you are trying to achieve is something small. So just set your alarm and say, okay, I'm going to work at this thing that I don't want to do for 30 minutes. And after 30 minutes, I'm going to give myself a break. I can do something fun, and I don't necessarily have to continue. So consistency is also very important. So every day you have to work at it. So you cannot do work like crazy hours one day and the next day do nothing. So make sure that every day you work at it consistently for a certain number of time. And then day by day you start to discover that is actually what the thing that you were dreading the most is not so difficult to overcome, and it becomes easier. And also people often feel that the situation needs to be perfect and you have to know all the answers in order to start with something. And that is not the case, because life is fluent. It's like a river. It's not a straight road. So you cannot anticipate for everything. Maybe tomorrow it's going to rain and that will hamper your plans, or someone isn't available that you needed. So there's never a good time to do anything. You just have to do it. And if problems arise, then you need to face them when they pop up, and you cannot stay in this thought process of, oh no, everything has to be perfect. I have to know all the answers. I have to be 100% prepared before I start something, because then you'll never get off the ground. And then 20 years later, you look back in your life and you still haven't accomplished what you set out to do. So just go for it and you'll figure things out, because you're strong and you're beautiful and you're capable, and you will be able to get through it.
That's great. So do you have any material you're going to be recommending for people that want to discover themselves, maybe like books or seminars?
Yeah, I mean, yes, for sure. What helped me a lot is actually RuPaul, because RuPaul has some great songs. Like one of my favorite songs is what was it again? I have to look it up. Let me check. But in any case, in RuPaul's songs, she says, if they ain't paying your bills, pay them bitches no mind. So basically, do not listen too much to what other people say to you, especially if it's negative, and especially if people are gossiping about you or telling you you're rubbish or that you cannot do certain things. Because usually the reason why they say these things is because they feel very insecure themselves, and that's why they feel they have to kind of attack you. So don't listen to all these negative voices, and try to shut out the negative voice here inside your head that's telling you you can't do things, or now is not a good time. and go ahead and do it. And look into NLP. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, for those who don't know. And neuro-linguistic programming is all focused on how there's all these different people that look at things from a different perspective. And it's all about creating a different perspective for yourself. So how you think about certain things or how you feel about certain things, that is not the truth. That is just how you feel about it. So sometimes it helps to look at things from different angles and different perspectives to get new ideas and to try different things. So NLP is good. There's also loads of personality tests online to get a clearer view of who you are as a person and where your strength lies, and how you look at the world. So I would definitely look into that as well for some more introspection and to see how you cope with certain situations. Yeah, and generally speaking, yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts about self-help and mental health awareness. So just see whoever resonates with you and who can give you some insights, and slowly you'll start to get there.
Wow, that's great. You have had a lot of resources, but you mentioned one from Japan. You call it the name is something.
Well, yeah, the only thing, I don't really follow any Japanese
No, you
podcasts.
mentioned something guide from Japan that you said it helps you to know your ability, your personality, your reason for living,
Oh,
your
yeah, that is
achievement.
your no, that is just a phrase they use in Japan, and it's called ikigai. So if you Google ikigai, then the explanation of the word will come up, and basically ikigai encompasses a lot of different elements, and it helps you to focus to see, yeah, what is your reason for living, what is your strength, what is your passion, what would you like to achieve, what is your legacy, that kind of thing. And if you fill all these elements out for yourself, it will also give you some more insights on where you should go.
Wow, that's great. So what's you've mentioned a lot of materials here. So
Mhm.
what other ways do you think one can go about discovering his or herself?
Other ways to go about discovering yourself. Well, I feel traveling is a very good way to discover yourself, because or if you cannot travel, to just reach out to people from a different background and from a different culture, and talking a lot and experiencing different cultures and people who think differently from you kind of also makes you realize, okay, there's more out there than just me. Because if you are always stuck in the same bubble with the same friends and the same family and the same voices, it's very difficult to grow. So if you want to grow, you should try to go outside of the bubble and to meet people with a different viewpoint and different values and different way of doing things, and that will give you new ideas to propel you forward.
Wow, that's great. So I want you to, discovering oneself, I believe it requires a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people discover yourself. They were able to establish, but at the long run, they were not able to fulfill the discovery which they discovered about themselves. That means, coming through with what the discovery of achieving that which the discovery about yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about those people like that, or how can you encourage such person?
Well, what I do is sometimes it helps to create a vision board. So just get a pile of magazines, old magazines, and some glue and scissors, and create a vision board for yourself. So look at the magazines, try not to overthink it, and see what resonates with you. So if something pops out from the magazine, like a certain phrase or a photo that really inspires you, just cut it all out and then make a big pile of things that have some kind of emotion for you, or that give you some kind of feeling or some kind of idea. And then take a big A3 poster and just stick it all up and try to see if there's a red line in there. So see what elements of the photos or text go with your life, or see what elements go with your love life, and see what elements go with your career, and then create for yourself more insights on what you want to achieve, and what you aspire, and how you would like to grow, and just stick the poster somewhere in your house where you see it every day. So on the days when you feel that things are not going your way and everything is terrible and you feel like you can't do anything right, then just look at the poster and then you can think, yeah, see, I can do it. These are my goals. Tomorrow will be a better day. Today, I'm just going to stop doing what I was doing. I'm going to give myself a break. And then tomorrow I'm going to try it again.
Wow, that's great. Can you just give us brief on details on how to set a goals?
How to
And
set
how to
goals? Yeah, I mean, you have to first, so I would recommend first to go and search for Ikigai and fill this out for yourself, and decide what is important to you. So what do you want to achieve? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind when you're no longer there? How do you want people to talk about you when you're not there? So do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to help people? Do you want to be a consultant? Do you want to maybe go into the medical field? Do you want to write books? Do you want to be very creative? So anything goes, and you just need to, yeah. And you can also ask your friends, ask them, what do you think I'm good at? Or how do you see me? Or if you were me, what would be the next step? And see what they say, and just kind of take it all in, and then let it sit there for a few days and think about it, and then slowly the answer will emerge. And then also another thing you can also do is meditate. So maybe do yoga for 20-30 minutes before going to sleep, and really think about the questions that you are struggling with. And oftentimes, if you think about it a lot before going to sleep, you will actually dream about it. And then the dream can also provide some insights on what to do next.
Thank you very much. So I want to ask you, let me say maybe the last questions before we bring it to a close.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think discovering oneself has to do with spirituality?
I mean, I feel that is different for everyone. Some people are very spiritual and some people are not. To be honest, I'm not very religious or spiritual, but if that's something that gives you comfort or that helps you, then by all means, you should use that. And if you can draw strength from that by reading Bible verses or reading in the Quran or reading the Talmud or whatever your preferred book to read, and go ahead and see what resonates with you and use that. For me, that doesn't really work, but I use different things to kind of lift me up and keep me going when things are tough.
So let me say this, the last question I'll be asking. before you give the people details how they can reach out to you for more consultation or for more teachings on this. So, what are the implications of one not discovering his or herself?
Well, I think if you can discover yourself, it can also create happiness, because money should never be goal in itself, because money can never satisfy you, because if you reach a certain goal through money, then you will get used to it really fast, and then the happiness it provided, it will be gone. And also, fill yourself up with material things generally doesn't really work, to because you will always want more and always need more. So money is a very bad motivator, I feel. So try to achieve something else in your life. So maybe you want to bring joy in people's lives, or you want to help people, or you want to tell people about your passion in life, or you want to I don't know, make people better or whatever. So if you have a goal like that, that is not necessarily to do with money or achieving things, that is the only way to really achieve happiness, and also to surround yourself with people that you resonate with and that will bring positivity in your life. So no matter whether we're talking about family or friends you've had for a long time, if someone is not bringing positivity in your life, kind of like Marie Kondo does with things, clearing out things in your house, you can also use the same tactic to clear out people in your life. Just because someone has a certain connection with you, that doesn't mean that you need to keep them in your life. If they are not helping you to propel forward, then it's okay to just say, you know, I don't think this is working. I'm going to step back. I'm going to do what is right for me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your time on this platform. Can you just in 2 minutes tell people how they can reach out to you on your social media handle, your website, and other contacts?
Yes, I will send it to you separately so you can put it in the show notes. So my company's name is Tokyo Tours, and it's spelled the Dutch way. So Tokyo is spelled with an I and not with a Y. So www.tokyo, Tokio, and then tours, TOURS.nl. You can email me at Nikki, NICKI, at tokyotours.com. You can follow me on any social media platform at Tokyo Tours, or my personal Instagram account, Nikki_Amsterdam. So I look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thank you very much. So God bless you. Thank you for coming to this program. This is Season of Change, transforming your life through the power in the Word of God. We believe you enjoyed and you are blessed through our guest on this episode on Season of Change, on self-discovery. Self-discovery. Thank you so much, Nikki. We really appreciate you.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. We wish and we believe we'll be having you once again on this platform.
Oh, that would be amazing. You ask very well thought out questions, I feel.
No problem. Thank you very much. I'll be sending you an email once we need your presence on this platform once again.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
We can bring the recording to a close.